What's up, everybody? Mark with Cardivox Academy here, and today we're checking out Mental Cruelty, Nordlys. Nordlys. I think it means Northern Lights. That's what Google Translate told me. Am I right? I don't know. But I'm excited to do that because I'm not sure if I think we've gone over Mental Cruelty once before, but it's been quite a while. This is the first time we'll be going over Mental Cruelty, if so, with their new vocalist, Lucas Nikolai, I believe his name is. And I haven't really heard him yet. In all honesty. So I'm kind of excited to do so. Now, if you're new to the channel, again, my name is Mark. I am a metal vocalist myself, been at it for roughly 14 years. I don't exactly remember when I started, but it was a while ago. I'm the vocalist in a band called Kardashev on Metal Blade Records. We released an album called Liminal Right about a year ago. I am also a full-time vocal coach specializing in harsh vocal sounds, teaching people how to do, like sounds safely and efficiently for years to come. And also on that note, very exciting, very, very soon. I can't say when, but it's all basically done. We're just waiting on a couple things. Very, very soon, we're going to be releasing an online course, False Chord Fundamentals. So False Chord Fundamentals is a really cool course. It's going to teach you how to have a healthy relationship with distortion. It's going to get you started on your false chord journey, or if you're already doing vocals and false chord has been tough for you, this teaches you the foundational technique, the baseline sound to create all sorts of cool things. You start around here. That slowly over time can turn into. So if you want to start that very long journey, False Chord Fundamentals is going to be the best way for you to do it. Details will be up at cardivoxacademy.com soon. And that's all I know. So if you want one-on-one lessons, hit me up. If you want to check that out, hit me up. Either way, I'm just excited to check out Mental Cruelty, Nordlys. Here we go. Okay, well, they gave me a good place to pause right at 53 seconds. Also, we pause a lot in these videos to talk about vocal technique. So if you don't like it, you're in the wrong spot. Anyway, so that being said, a couple really cool things going on here. This is the first time, like I said, unless he's been in other bands that I've heard that I'm not aware of, this is my first time hearing his voice, and I'm really liking his approach. So he has a really cavernous, a really big open low tone, right? What I'm hearing is I'm hearing a lot of puffing of air on pronouncing syllables. I think like 5 videos ago, I said you don't hear it all the time, and I feel like I'm hearing it more and more now. And that's fine because this is a technique that I really like. It's a really good way to add punch to your vocals. I feel like we heard a lot in deathcore like 6 to 10 years ago, maybe sooner. Then it kind of went away and things were like really tight and surgical. And now this air puffing kind of gives you a good organic feel on your syllables. So as an example, what that means, right? And you can go back and listen to it if you'd like, is like I could like do some syllables here. I could go like right, or I could go hear how I just sort of like spat those syllables out, right? That's coming from a really interesting and really cool place. You can just puff out air. What a lot of people tend to do is they tend to squeeze down on their throat and like kind of like cough the air out. They go like, that's going to tire you out extremely quickly. And you're going to have some pain or some discomfort at worst. At best, you'll just be like, hey, this doesn't feel right. So a lot of this is going to kind of come from understanding. Where your driving force is coming from, right? So first and foremost, you take a healthy inhale. We won't go over like inhale. We could talk about for an hour, right? So we're not going to go too over it, but we want to breathe down and out, right? So we're breathing down, breathe out first. My abdominal muscles are opening, my ribs are expanding. I've talked with some people who their muscles come in as well when they breathe in, and it doesn't seem to impact their vocals very much. Kind of goes against what I know, but at the same time, if it's working, it's working. But we're breathing in down and out. And then what I want you to do is I want you to like blow out a candle and do like little puffs. When you do that, you shouldn't have any squeeze in your neck, right? No squeeze in your neck. This is how, like we're blowing up an inflatable pool toy. This is something I talk about with my students a lot, right? That's how we're going to get that sound, and it's really cool. I'm not going to talk about the highs yet because I'm anticipating he's going to do a lot more, but I love how he threw a really loose, really open, kind of like I'm trying to think of the word, but kind of like a ravenous high. I don't know the lyrics, of course, but it was like this, right? And that over top of that, like tighter but yet puffy low. That was a really cool combo. I really like that. I'm gonna go back about 10 seconds because I'm not editing this video. I edited the Sleep Token one and it was full of mistakes. So I was like, Ludo, help me out. I gotta have you edit this one. So let's go back about 10 seconds. We'll keep going. Okay, I gotta pause it, but I'm too distracted because I'm here to talk about vocals. But like, oh man, this song is sick. So, as a lot of you know, if you're not new to this channel, it's hard to say like what my favorite genre of metal is, but the one that I continually come back to and don't seem to get tired of is black metal. I love black metal. And I feel like now this is gonna make me sound like some like really like hard-nosed black metal elitist, and there are many of those, let me tell you. And trust me, I'm not. I love how experimental and large black metal has gotten. But I do feel like in the past like 5 years, it became a little bit of a joke or like an aesthetic. Like, you know, like when you like eat, okay, hold on. I got to think about how I'm going to say this so I don't ruffle any feathers. You can't just put a dash of curry powder in a dish and then it becomes curry, right? It's a process, right? It's its own dish with like a history and a tradition, right? Okay, like if I like, you know, put curry powder on a steak, it's you know what I'm saying. Anyway, I feel like in the past like 5 or 6 years, that's kind of what people were doing with black metal. Sometimes I felt like they didn't really know what to do, so they were like, I don't know, tremolo picking, I guess. Now it's black metal. And listen, some of the songs were awesome, and I'm not against this process here. But what I'm hearing here is some like serious black metal influence, like that slow dissonant. I was like, is this Gorgoroth? Gorgoroth is one of my favorite black metal bands of all time. All their albums are really good, but Ad Majoris Gloriam Satanas or something like that. I can't remember. It's the one with Sign of an Open Eye. Amazing. Love it. I got distracted because like the black metal influence, like this feels like a black metal song, not like a deathcore song where somebody was like, give it black metal, I guess. But it feels like a black metal song with deathcore vocals. Some people probably won't like that. I'm totally about it right now. I love it. One thing I'm liking is his dominance of high vocals right now. That's a very common black metal thing. When the song picks up, you throw in a lot of high vocals. A lot of black metal bands are exclusively high vocals, right? But one thing he's doing to give this a deathcore flavor is the way that he is scooping around his syllables, right? So a good example, okay? So like a standard like black metal, and you gotta understand, black metal is a really large genre now. It's not like it was in the mid 90s where it's just, you know, a bunch of people in the basement of a record store being all moody, right? We've got atmospheric black metal, symphonic black, we got all those things. So there's not like one black metal style, right? But a really common way to approach black metal is to get really thin in your tone, right? Thin in your tone and hold it steady, right? So, call him to the black flame, call him bringer of light, right? Keeping it steady right there. But what I'm hearing here is a lot more scooping, call him to the black flame, right? A lot more like dynamic, acrobatic articulation. And it's really cool. It's really working. I'm not going to lie. When I heard that like Gorgoroth section come in, my vocal coach hat went across the room and I was just grooving. So I'm going to have to go back and listen to this song on my own later. But damn, this song is good. Let's keep going. All right, this is a good year for metal, everyone. This is a good year for metal. Left to Suffer, banger, right? The Art is Murder, banger, right? Humanity's Last Breath, banger. Now this song for me personally, we're only about halfway through, is a 10 out of 10. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling to pay attention to just his vocals because this is such an interesting song to me to listen to. I love the black metal influence. I love the deathcore influence without it being heavy-handed, right? It's actually meshing together really well. Amazing work. Now, a couple things I'm noticing. This guy has a lot of tones and a lot of timbres. It's not really the way I want to say it, but this guy has a lot of nuance. Okay, let's say that. Nuance in his voice. We've got those like really screechy, nice, beautiful high vocals, right? We've got a very Fry heavy influence on his mid, right? We've got like a tighter, more compressed low, like that. But then we've also got like a looser, more open, right, vocal. So one that's like mostly, now listen, this is just what I'm hearing. Maybe he'll be like, actually, I was doing this. And I'll say, whatever, good job, dude. But what sounds to me like a more false chord, right? And then we can add a little bit of Fry influence there. We can add a little bit of strategic closure to create like this, and that creates so much cool texture here. I love the production on the guitars. I love where the drums are sitting in this mix. Really, really, really cool. Let's keep going. This is so good. There it is, that tighter. Check it out, listen. Mother. Okay, that's a good place to talk as well. God dang. I'm also hearing like a little bit of Demu, like just a touch, but it still sounds uniquely them, right? Like I want to get that across. I'm not enjoying this song because it sounds like other things. I'm enjoying this song because of what they're doing. And it fits the bill with a lot of bands that I like. Like I fell in love with Demu on this channel, actually, when I reacted to Gateways. That's really the first time I'd listened to them in a long time. And then I heard that live and I was like, oh God. But one thing, so I'm talking a lot about what he's doing, and a lot of what he's doing is a little bit more advanced, right? This is not really like a beginner friendly song, right? Not a lot of what you're hearing, most people are going to be able to create as their first scream. Now, listen, we've all been on the Reddits, the subreddits, the Discord servers, the Facebook groups, and there are those outliers that are just really stupid talented. That's not most of us, and that certainly was not me in my life. Like, I sucked a lot for a while. But I just did it anyway. And that's what you should do too as well. Like, if you know that you're not like the vocalist at the level that you want to be, you should just do it anyway. That's kind of how we did this vocal contest that we had that we're still running. Round 2 has started. You know, a bunch of people, you know, they just did it anyway and they learned so much, right? So anyway, let's say you're home, right? And you are interested in playing around with metal vocal tones, right? Let me tell you a couple ways that you can do that pretty safely and efficiently. One, you can check out the False Chord Fundamentals online course coming out soon. It's my channel. I'll plug my own stuff if I want. Number 2, you can focus on being quiet, okay? One of the big mistakes that new vocalists make is they hear a scream and they try to do the scream, right? But when we're hearing this vocalist here do his vocals, we're not just hearing distortion technique. That's the biggest mistake that I run into, is people are so focused on the grit. Makes sense. That's the sound that we hear. That's what we know, right? But his highs, like, think about how long he's holding them, right? He's holding these highs. I don't know if he's like breaking any records here, but he's holding these highs for long periods of time. What does that tell you? That tells you that he has a very good balance between his breath support and his distortion. They're working together. They're like one thing. And that's what I kind of try to stress to my students once they move from like a beginner level to more of an intermediate level, is like, okay, we've been working on your voice as individual pieces, but now your voice is becoming one thing, right? When I just talk, hey, what's up? My vocal cords are moving the way that they are partially because of the airflow. So I can't say the airflow is separate from the vocal fold or the vocal fold is separate from the airflow. Like, okay, sure, we can talk about it that way. But when it comes to like understanding our body somatically, having that proprioception, we have to get that feel down, right? Okay, so anyways, doing vocals quietly. This is how I learned high vocals, right? I was driving around in my mom's Buick LeSabre. I was 17. So that was 18 years ago, if my math is right. Jesus Christ. Anyway. No, 16 years ago. Listen, I don't care. Anyway, and I was listening to Abigail Williams. I don't remember the record. And what I used to try to do is I used to try to scream along with him. And I always that sounded terrible. That sounded just awful. Not good, disgusting, bad, disgusting. And then I remember I was kind of like half-assing it, right? I was on the freeway, and I don't remember the lyrics. It was like, I see the candles, something, right? And so rather than trying to go for the full scream, I was just being silly. And I was like, I say that. And I was like, hold the phone. Wait a minute. That didn't hurt. I say that. And then from there, rather than trying to push on it, I just played there, right? This is one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of people make. I'm talking about a lot of mistakes here, but hey, that's part of the journey. They'll be like, I finally found it. The thing I've been searching for. The thing I've worked so hard for. Goodbye. And they just get rid of it, right? Once you find a place of comfort, stay there. Even if it doesn't sound super cool, hang out, right? So for days, I was just like, I say the candle, piercing, not everything. Right, that's all I was doing. And then over the weeks and months, right, that became, I say, right? And that took time. But it worked that way because I took my time and I learned about my voice as part of my body, not just a cool vocal effect I could make and not have any connection to. Does that make sense? I'm asking you like you can answer me. I want to know how many people are like, yeah, it makes sense. The last thing, I know I'm talking a lot, but this song's just got so much to talk about. You can do that with lows as well. Just think about little tiny grunts. Or like little tiny like fry tones, like hi, my, hey, wow, 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 and just hang out there for a while. Did any of those sound cool? No. but who cares? They were comfortable and you were learning control over the placement. All right, let's listen to more of this amazing song. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This is great. Yeah. All right, everybody, just shut your mouths. Everybody just shut up. We're listening to that again because that was just unreal. That was so cool. Man, let me tell you something. I thought they were leading into a deathcore breakdown. And let me be clear, I would have liked that. I would have been like, cool, black metal for the whole beginning of the song, some death metal or deathcore at the end, breakdown. Cool, neat. But they gave me the tastiest black metal breakdown that was reminiscent of like a lot of like the 2010s black metal that I really liked, like your Gorgoroth, your Belphegor, your like these bands that I love so much, right? And listen, I hope they're not Nazis because I don't know if they are. Please, Gorgoroth, Belphegor, please don't be, please. But or if you are, just stop it. Just it's time to stop. But without sound, and this is the thing, it didn't sound like they were trying to be retro. It didn't sound is 2010 retro? I don't know. But it didn't sound like they were trying. Okay, but vocal knowledge, because that's what we're here for, to be better vocalists. Mark, do your job. I can't when the music's this good. So one thing I talk with, I'm just still playing that ending in my head. Anybody who knows me knows that outros are generally my favorite part of a song. I love the last third of a song. And I love that they didn't do a really quick and abrupt fade out. Yeah, I said it. If you saw my Sleep Token video and you made fun of me and you criticized me, I'm gonna say it again. Get a plate and eat it. But anyway, vocal technique. We heard a couple things, right? I'm going to talk about these three things. We're going to listen to the outro and then we're going to be done. And I'm going to go listen to their whole discography. Cause like, God damn. So one of the things I talk to my students about is delivery. Now, what is delivery? I'm sure that there's a really cool answer to this, but I like to think of it as the sum of the pieces of your voice working together, but your focus being emotion, your focus being communication, right? Like today, I was working with one of my students. He's been with me since January, I think. Started out, we were just doing this basic false chord sound, and he got it. He got that down. Wasn't able to do it. Now is able to do it, right? Hey, hey, hey. And I was like, okay. So here we are, right? Hey, what's up? That sounds correct, but it sounds bland. It sounds unseasoned, right? And I told him, I was like, but that's fine. That's what I've wanted from you. I've wanted you to have comfort and control first, right? And I was like, now we need to talk a little bit about tone. And we talked a little bit about lip and tongue position and jaw position. This is all really important. It's important to understand how the resonant space of our mouths creates tone, but it will never create like emotion. You know what I mean? So one thing I had him do literally is like we were just a bunch of goofy goobers. Like I stood up, he stood up, and we were in our office and we were doing like dog bark. Well, he was in Germany and I was in mine here, in Arizona. And we were just doing like dog barks. Oof, 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 oof. But we were getting into it. So we were like pretend holding microphones and like fist bumping to the crowd. We were like, oof, oof, way, oof, if, yes, way. And like what I just did sounded better than oof, 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 oof. And sure, we could diagnose all that and pick it apart and find every single little technical thing I was doing. But mostly I was just getting into it, right? I was getting into it. And that's one of the best things you can do. Once you have a safe relationship with distortion, you should have moments where you're in your car or at home, wherever you practice, really being like scientific with your voice. What does this do? What does that do? Turn my tongue this way. Turn my tongue this way. And then there are other times where you, as a vocalist, even if you're brand new, this is again after you can create consistent, healthy distortion, even if it's really simple. Just get into it. Just have fun. You're gonna learn so much. You're gonna learn. Your intelligence score will go up from practicing very pragmatically. Your wisdom score will go up very highly from just being a goober and having fun. Don't neglect either. Do both. Last thing I want to point out is his delivery at the end. Again, hearing it for the first time, I don't know what he was saying, but he had like that more like tight distortion, right? And he could have just been like, "This is the voted, right?" Sounds correct. Sounds boring, right? But he had like this snarl, this right. He had steak. He was putting some stank on it. You know what I mean? And then when it opened up and we had that like amazing, man, is Mental Cruelty at their best right now? I think maybe they are. But okay. Focus. But anyway. Then he had that more, so we had that tighter, then we had that more loose sound at the end. And that was amazing. So listen, I just really want to stop talking about vocals and listen to this song. So y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Here we go. Go listen to Mental Cruelty. Check out my e-course and lesson info at cardivoxacademy.com. Listen to black metal, hail Satan, many thanks, much love, I'm out.